Hey guys, welcome. We are 20% through the NBA season. So I think it's a good time to look at some things like which team has been most surprising in a positive and a negative way? Which player has been surprising in a positive and a negative way? Who's my pick for MVP? And who do I think is going to win the NBA championship? Find out all that and a lot more coming up next. The Cleveland Cavaliers are the best team in the NBA to start the season, and quite surprising to most. Though I never questioned the talent, but I did have concerns if Darius Garland and Donovan Mitchell would even be able to play together. But so far, Donovan Mitchell is averaging a tad over 24 points a game to lead the team in scoring, and Darius Garland seems to embrace his role and is having a hot start from three, shooting 43.3% from three, and is averaging over 20 points a game himself. And they're not the only ones getting it done on the offensive end. With Ty Jerome, Evan Mobley, Karis LeVert, Jarrett Allen, all averaging over 10 points a game, the Cavaliers have 6 players averaging in double figures on the season. As a unit, they come in at number 1 in offensive efficiency in the NBA. But it's not just offense, as they also have a top 10 defense efficiency. The Cavaliers have a lot clicking, and it's the reason why they had the league's best record at 17-1 to start the season. And our negative surprise team of the NBA to start out the season has been the Philadelphia 76ers, who have been underperforming to say the least. Yes, injuries have been an issue, but we are getting to the point in the season where there's a lot of ground to make up. Combined with the fact that Joel Embiid will sit the second night of all back-to-backs, I question if Paul George, when he comes back, has enough gas in the tank to carry this team to the playoffs. The efficiency ratings for the 76ers have just been terrible. They are at the bottom of the league when it comes to offensive efficiency, sitting 28th out of 30 teams. And on defense, they're not doing much better, sitting at 18th. Tyrese Maxey is leading the team in scoring at 24 points a game, but is struggling with his efficiency, only shooting 42% from all field goal attempts. We will see if they can get healthy enough to make a run at the playoffs and get over this 3-13 hump. And my positive surprise player to start out the year so far has been Bahamas' own Boomer Sooner, Buddy Hield. Buddy had a subpar year last year with Philadelphia, but this year, playing alongside Steph Curry has given him new life, averaging 15 points a game on 44% from three coming off the bench. His stats aren't going to blow you away, but he has contributed on a high level on a team that has had a lot of question marks coming into the season. Buddy to continue to make big plays for Golden State for the rest of the season. My negative surprise player has been Trae Young. Coming into the night, the Hawks are 4 games below 500, and Trae Young is seemingly hurting them with his play. Yes, he's averaging 21 points and 11 assists, but he's shooting 38% from the field and 36% from three. I was expecting a big year for Trae Young, but hey, he can't seem to get it right in Atlanta. I still think he has all the talent in the world, so maybe it's just time for him and the Hawks to mutually part ways, as I believe he is better as a distributor. I think a team with an established scorer is one that best fits Trae Young. So yes, we are through 20% of this NBA season, and the MVP that I have so far this season is Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. The Oklahoma City have had a hot start, and they are 13-4. The catalyst behind that has been SGA. While averaging just under 30 points and 7 assists, he is still playing with ridiculous efficiency, shooting 51% from the field and 36% from three. And he has also doubled his three-point attempts while still shooting at a decent clip from three. He is also averaging a career high in assists this year at 6.5 per game. And no, he's not just dominant on the offensive end. He's been very dominant on the defensive end. Last year, he led the NBA in total steals, and he's on track to be in the running for that once again. This year, he's also near or at the top of the list for blocks per game by a guard. His ability to draw attention makes the players around him so much better. He doesn't hinder the growth of the youth in Oklahoma City, and with the injuries that Oklahoma City has to deal with this year, there's no question that he is my MVP. And my pick for the 2025 NBA Finals are the Boston Celtics. Boston is a veteran team, and they look very dominant out the gate without one of their key guys. They have the talent to beat anyone in the league. Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, proven that they're a top duo in the NBA. And then behind them, you got enough depth to go out and win you a lot of games in the Eastern Conference. And then I don't think there's going to be anyone in the Eastern Conference to be able to challenge the Celtics once again. As the East does not have a lot of depth, they only have 4 teams coming in at 500 or better. At the same time, the West might be the deepest conference in the history of the NBA. The West currently has 5 teams that are 500 or better. If this doesn't summarize the disparity between the two, the Western Conference is dominating the Eastern Conference in head-to-head matchup 44-29. And honestly, that's kind of what we expected coming into the season. Outside of Cleveland, Boston, and surprisingly Brooklyn, every team has a losing record against the Western Conference. Whoever comes out of the West, which I think will be the Thunder, I think they will be beat up. And then the Celtics will be rested once again. And that's why I think the NBA champions will be the Boston Celtics. All right, let's check out some standings. Starting in the Eastern Conference, the Cleveland Cavaliers coming in at 17-1. They're looking really good to start out the season. Followed right behind them, you got the Boston Celtics at 15-3. They look dominant. Orlando Magic coming in at 12-7. They're a little bit of a surprise. Yeah, we knew they had some young talent, but without Paolo Banchero, they've been looking really good lately. The New York Knicks, Karl Anthony Towns has been looking pretty impressive with the Knicks, and they're back to their winning ways. And then follow right behind them, we got the Milwaukee Bucks. It seems like the Bucks might have gotten their act together, going 7-3 their last 10, sitting at 9-9 right now. Sitting at number 6, the Miami Heat are off to their usual beginning of the season woes, if you will. Expect them to catch some heat, pun intended, later in the year. And at number 7, we got the Indiana Pacers at 8-10. From here on out, the Eastern Conference is kind of bad, so we're not going to talk about the teams. Brooklyn Nets are 8-10, Chicago's 8-11, Detroit at number 10 at 8-11. That will be the cutoff for the play-in if the playoffs started today. And then the teams to miss the playoffs completely would be the Atlanta Hawks, the Charlotte Hornets, the Toronto Raptors, Philadelphia 76ers, and last but not least, the Washington Wizards. All right, and then checking in on the Western Conference. At number 1, we got Oklahoma City sitting at 13-4. They've been quite banged up to start out the year. Alex Caruso's missed a few games. Chet's out right now for about 2 more months, but they still look pretty solid. They're 6-4. Their last 10. But ever since Hartenstein was reinserted back into the lineup, they look back to their dominant selves. Behind them, we got Golden State at 12-5. They look pretty good. Buddy Hield has been a big addition for that team. I mean, he's shooting over 40%, and he's providing them with that spark off the bench. All right, and then at number 3, we got the Houston Rockets. The Houston Rockets are one of the younger teams in the NBA. They're a surprising team. Amen Thompson, and they got quite a bit of players. I think Jalen Green is one of the better players in the NBA, and it's really awesome to see what they're doing. Memphis Grizzlies, it looks like they're back in the playoff picture after John Morant's being back. So I'm glad to see them, and it's just more depth in the Western Conference. All right, Phoenix Suns. Is this going to be KD's last ride in Phoenix? I think if they don't make the they're going to make the playoffs, but I think if they don't make it deep in the playoffs, I don't think he's coming back to Phoenix next year. And then the Lakers, maybe with the best draft pick in the NBA this year. Still a little hard to see what they're going to because they're down in efficiency this year, but somehow they're still winning. We'll see if that winning trend continues. The LA Clippers are looking solid at 11-8. The Denver Nuggets, they're struggling out the gate. I think they have some health issues, so look for them to improve on their 9-7 start. Dallas Mavericks at 10-8. San Antonio at 10-8, Minnesota at 8-9, Sacramento at 8-10, Portland at 7-11, Utah at 4-13, and then the New Orleans Pelicans last in the Western Conference at 4-14. All right, I appreciate y'all stopping in and watching this video. It's been a blessing to have y'all in here with me. Y'all have a good night, and make sure you hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, and I'll see you on the next video.